Alright. While the RS is in getting its tyres, they made the mistake of giving me one of these, so I'm going to take it out a bit and see what the story is. Carry. Oh no, I'm far too polite for this bike. No, far too nice. They made. Alright, I get a little bit of time out on this. I have it on loan while I'm getting some stuff done to my main bike, which is a R1200 RS, and they gave us the S1000R, which needs petrol. We'll go get petrol and then we'll go around for a little while and see what we will see. And a big difference, well, obviously the obvious differences between this and my bike is it's a 4-cylinder, which now that I've been up on it for half an hour or so, I've gotten used to it, but the first couple of minutes was very sort of weird because I was used to the boxer engine, which is going to give you a lot more feedback through the bars and through the pegs and everything like that, and some people don't like that. I'm used to it at this point, so you kind of you go faster than you mean to because it doesn't feel like the engine is pulling you. And so well, obviously, since this is a more powerful engine than the boxer, it's a 160 horsepower as opposed to the 125 in the boxer, but it's certainly a bit of crack to ride, and crack seems to be the order of the day. Like, this is the sort of tuned down, you know, almost commuter-y version of the S1000R, which is sort of BMW's race bike. And shit, I forgot about these roadworks. Anyway, you know, it's pretty nice to ride. It's nice and forgiving, that sort of thing. It doesn't feel like a heavy bike, certainly coming from the RS. It doesn't feel like a heavy bike. And it has the standard BMW switchgear at this point. So I'm not going to go through that, although I should probably go through it on the other bike just so I have it on the video. Nice and smooth coming up through the gears. It does clutchless upshifts pretty well, so you can get up through the gears. Downshifts are a bit more finicky, especially since I'm a large chap and the pegs are fairly high on this one. They're about as high as the ER6 were, and it does mean you're sort of scrunched up a little bit, but it's nice and upright. It's certainly not a sports bike sort of stance, you know. I don't feel like I've got my face pointed forward and my arse up in the air, although there's a lot less bike in front of me, and that sort of put me off for a little while when I first got on the bike. You know, you're sort of going, I'm used to having a sort of something up in front of me like this, but as for how it rides, super nice, especially in the city. You know, it's skinnier and you know, more agile than the RS, so it's pretty good. Obviously this is a bike for going fast. It's a more powerful bike, it's a more accelerated bike. It's not the bike for me, but it's a bit of crack to have out for the day. Satisfying. And yeah, the one thing I had when I had an inline 4 before is I'm too polite for an inline 4, I think, or I'm too polite for any kind of high revs bike, because I just don't like making a load of noise. Also, even out at slow speeds in Phoenix Park here, you know, the wind is kind of getting to me. So I think I do like a bit of wind protection, certainly more so than this thing is offering. And even on a city bike and stuff, I mean, you say you have a bike that's for the city, but you're never going to be completely and always in the city. Where are you going? So, you know, a half fairing or any sort of a screen, although I think you can get a screen that goes on the front there. There is a tiny little screen there. And yeah, as far as the riding position is concerned, I like it. I think it's actually pretty nice for a naked bike where you're not going to be out pissing down the motorway half your time, and you're sort of sitting up on it. And even the sort of high pegs, the initial sort of getting up onto the pegs, after that it's looking pretty nice. I don't usually come this way, and I fucking no idea if I know I'm somewhere I recognize. Oh, I know where I am. Huh, okay, that's where I am. There's the Travel Lodge. It's where Scaldies bring people to ride them. Okay, 80 kph in 6th, and it's buzzing away. I think this will piss me off sitting on the motorway, just feeling like the bike is struggling, even though I know it's not. I think this confirms that I'm probably more of a two-cylinder person, because it feels like the bike is more is not struggling to keep you at this speed. Yeah, even a tiny little motorway spot, and the wind is kind of catching you and pushing you, and like the rider is the person that the wind is catching rather than any sort of fairing. So I think any sort of motorway riding, more than the occasional one, would not be good crack on this bike. So it's certainly not for me commute wise. It is a load of crack though. Just in a couple of spots there it was like, yeah, I can see why the extra rated power would be alluring to many, but not for me, but fun for today. Oh no, it finally caught up with me.